Matt DiBenedetto. His wife Taylor right now is actually watching from the grandstands and she's cheering him on. DiBenedetto to the bottom of the racetrack, trying to steal the lead away from Jones.
This is not a good runs video. Sure, I may have put it on the playlist for good runs. All of my NASCAR content thus far, save the one, might be good runs videos. But this is less about the celebration of an underdog driver having an elite run, and more a cautionary tale and retrospective on the bizarre career of Matt DiBenedetto, who set the speedrun any percent world record for going from bushwhacking era victim to start and park journeyman to lovable underdog to unhireable and controversial in less than 12 years. And I've been hesitant to cover this one for that reason. In the 2000s and into the 2010s, during the nationwide era of NASCAR's second-tier series, bushwhacking was at its absolute worst, as I've said in previous videos, where NASCAR's feeder system had been completely choked of upcoming talent. And in order to make a few starts with a top team during this time, and somehow have your career in the sport survive all the way to the 2020s with decent equipment contending for wins in all three of NASCAR's top divisions, you had to be one of the greats. You had to be Brad Keselowski. You had to be Joey Logano. You had to be Bubba Wallace. You had to be Matt DiBenedetto.
Well, who has the greatest shot, I think, is a 20 car. But when Joey Logano's in that race car, it's a top 5 race car, 5 wins. But when he's not in that race car, it's a 20th place race car. DiBenedetto can make a cause for himself by bringing that thing in the top 5, and that team can win this race.
Matt's tenure at Joe Gibbs Racing is often forgotten. A footnote only references a good pull for a trivia question. Right smack dab in between the Tim McCreadys and the Deke McCaskells of the world. A fact only to be used for Random Driver of the Week on the NWP podcast. By the way, check that podcast out every Wednesday night on either Danny B, Iceberg, or Eric Estep's channel. Mostly because there ain't much to remember. He'd usually qualify well, qualified 4th in his first start in fact, but his finishes were just okay. 2 top 10s, and otherwise he was just kind of blasé. But how'd he wind up here? Well, Matt came from a racing family. His dad drove an IMSA in the 70s and 80s, and Matt started as a Little League baseball player at the age of 8. But around this time, he had started to take up an interest in racing, and one of the players on Matt's Little League team was competing in mini karts, so his dad bought him a used kart as well. And after winning some karts races, he moved up to the UARA Stars Series, which is a late model division based in Florida. But the recession hit his family pretty hard around this time and they had to sell off all their racing equipment, which left Matt DiBenedetto having to look for a ride, which he found in Fathead Racing Driver Development. And Matt impressed enough for Joe Gibbs to take an interest in him. Matt won 2 of his first 4 East Series races for Gibbs, which landed him a promotion to the then Nationwide Series. And like I said, there really wasn't anything of note. Due to the lack of sponsorship, Matt ended up being released from both Gibbs and his K&N Pro Series team. Matt then entered the era of start and park, driving for a few different outfits and never really being a factor. And this typically is where the driver's trajectory goes the way of Steven Light or Bernie Lamar. A few years as a start and park till the team inevitably folds and you move back down to the regionals. But then something bizarre happened. Matt DiBenedetto signed with BK Racing, a backmarker team which survived by playing Weekend at Bernie's with the remains of what was Team Red Bull from 2012 to 2015. Then in 2016, they went gravedigging again to acquire assets from Michael Waltrip Racing and gained an increased manufacturer support from Toyota. Still, little was expected from this team, whose best finish was 8th at Talladega in 2012 with Travis Guapel. The team only had 3 other top 15s at this point, 2 of them were also at Talladega. So it's safe to say that expectations were tempered. By the time we'd hit Bristol, the 8th race of the Cup Series season, Matt was 34th in points with a best finish of 20th.
Another driver who's had a great run today is Matt DiBenedetto, who wowed the crowd in driver introductions when Bill Goldberg called for him to come out. He came out to a ZZ Top song, and he was dressed as Billy Gibbons with a big, long, flowing beard and strumming a guitar. But DiBenedetto's had a great run here. He is currently in the top 10.
Matt DiBenedetto qualified 30th and somehow, on pace, finished a career-high 6th place in BK Racing equipment. And then he followed it up with this famous interview a la Rich Bickle.
Finish for this small team. Your thoughts?
I'm sorry, I'm so speechless. I'm so thankful to everybody on this team, everybody at BK Racing, Cosmo Motors in Hickory in North Carolina. They're local to me. He's my best friend. Sell some awesome cars. Please check him out. Everyone at BK Racing, Dustless Blasting. these guys, man, that's unbelievable for a team like us to be growing this much, and for us to get a 6th place run. I'm sorry, I'm so emotional. It's just, this is like a win for us, and I am so excited. I see my family back here.
It clearly has meant a lot to him. His career had already floundered when he was dropped from Gibbs, and at this point, there was no realistic path to success for him. But it was at this moment that Matt DiBenedetto defied the odds, going from token backmarker burned by the bushwhacking era to lovable underdog, Reddit's new favorite driver ever since that Josh Wise Dogecoin thing never went anywhere. Matt's year in the 83 ended with this lone top 10 finish and a 35th place points finish after missing only one race. So a couple of times towards the end of the season, Jeffrey Earnhardt came with a sponsor and rented the ride basically, which moved Matt to the 93 car for BK Racing, but I guess they didn't put Matt in the 93 for that race and instead they opted for Ryan Ellis. Either way, Jeffrey Earnhardt normally drove the 32, and coincidentally, that was where Matt DiBenedetto would wind up for the 2017 season, where he'd finished 9th in the Daytona 500, followed by an 8th in the Brickyard 400 that saw Kasey Kahne take his final career checkered flag. Other than that, it was a slight performance improvement, but nothing to write home about, and he'd start every race and finish 32nd in points with an average finish of 27th. He returned to go fast the following season and posted a single top 10 in the summer Daytona race, but performed about the same otherwise, though he'd finished 29th in points this time. It's of note here that in preparation for Phoenix, Matt DiBenedetto made a social media video asking his fans for sponsorship, and then that video got picked up by Fox News. Yeah, this is where things started getting weird.
They also unveiled a new driver, Matt DiBenedetto.
No way my words can possibly describe it, and the emotion I've had, the last...
Matt DiBenedetto signed a full-time agreement for 2019 to drive the 95 for Leavine Family Racing, a team that seemed to be on an upward trajectory since 2011 when they entered the sport as a start-and-park outfit, performing about even with Front Row Motorsports around this time. But things actually looked up in 2019 with a new technical alliance with Joe Gibbs and a manufacturer switch to Toyota. At first, things seemed just okay. A slight upgrade from his ventures with Go Fast and BK Racing, and running about where the 95 had previously ran with a couple top 20s here and there. It's worth noting that the driver that Matt DiBenedetto replaced in this 95 ride was Kasey Kahne, who only scored a total of 2 top 15s the entirety of 2018 with this outfit the year before. But at Sonoma, something changed.
Hey, how about DiBenedetto? He's not done. Here he comes into turn 10. Inside Kevin Harvick, looking inside.
He's going to make it.
Headed for 11.
He got it.
4th place.
You know, when a car like Matt DiBenedetto has right now the drive that he's on, you run a guy down that far back, you pretty much say, yeah, man, good job.
That's right.
And the 95 team finished 4th on pure pace. Then they had a subpar run at Chicago, but then it all started coming together. 8th at Daytona, 16th at Kentucky, 5th at Loudon, 17th at Pocono, 6th at Watkins Glen, 20th at Michigan. This wasn't just front row level performance anymore. This was on the level of Roush or even RCR at the time. So as we headed into the Bristol night race, the 24th race of 2019, Matt DiBenedetto was on a hot streak, elevating the 95 team to 23rd in points.
By side for 3rd. Elliott and DiBenedetto. DiBenedetto making a run on the high side. DiBenedetto taking 2nd away from Kyle Busch. Matt DiBenedetto, his wife Taylor right now is actually watching from the grandstands and she's cheering him on. DiBenedetto to the bottom of the racetrack, trying to steal the lead away from Jones.
Oh, he's inches away. He almost had him cleared. Couldn't quite pull up in front of him. Right now, he looks like he's got enough momentum. Clear. Oh, Jones in the wall.
Jones into the wall, and now Elliott. Chase Elliott trying to avoid Matt DiBenedetto. He came out in driver introductions with a robe on that said Italian Stallion. And now Matt DiBenedetto leading at Bristol. Scoring. He moved over to the 95, said, give me a chance. I'm betting on the fact that I can win races. Here comes the 11. Now they're side by side for the lead. A little contact.
The 11 made that move because of this. He believes he can get there and maybe catch him. Use the 12 of Blaney as a pick.
Denny Hamlin now has the advantage. He's in front. Hamlin in front at Bristol. The checkered flag will fly. Hamlin wins at Bristol.
Matt DiBenedetto qualified 7th, led 93 laps, and finished 2nd, losing the lead with only 12 to go. And then he delivered this interview.
I don't know. So much. I wanted to win so bad for these guys, for this team, for them giving me this opportunity. I'm just thankful that they gave me this opportunity. Toyota, Procore, Dumont Jets, and Estiwada Spray Equipment, that's all. I'm so thankful, but man, I'm sad. We got tight after the deal with Newman when he came up into us, and all of a sudden it got really tight after that. But dude, congrats to Denny. He raced hard. I've been a fan of his since I was a kid. To be racing door to door with him at Bristol in front of a great group of fans, I try not to get emotional, but it's been a tough week, and I just want to stick around and keep doing this for a long time to come. I love it. I love the opportunity, and I'm not done yet. Something will come open. It's gonna happen. I'm here to win. Something's gonna come open. I'm proud of these guys. Thankful for my wife and fans for sticking with me. It's been a tough journey. It's been a hard week, and this is cool for this team.
Anyone kind of getting off vibes from this? Like, the first time it felt real, it felt cathartic, it felt earned. This one, I don't know, man. It wasn't like he hadn't already bested his 6th place effort. I mean, yeah, he didn't win the thing and he was obviously upset, and I don't blame him for that, but this is where the tearful interviews started to feel a little off. Matt closed off his 2019 season with 3 top 5s, 7 top 10s, and a 22nd place points finish. And as the season closed up, Paul Menard announced his retirement and hand-selected Matt DiBenedetto as his replacement in the famed Wood Brothers 21.
Matt DiBenedetto, Jeff, is trying to shed the underdog role now that he's with the Wood Brothers. He's never had a top 10 on a 1.5-mile speedway, but he could get one today in his first 1.5-mile speedway drive for the Wood Brothers.
And right off the bat, DiBenedetto impressed, scoring a 2nd place run in both Las Vegas races in 2020 and putting the Wood Brothers into the playoffs for the first time since Ryan Blaney in 2017, even outpacing Menard, the guy he replaced. Matt's career redemption arc was finally coming into fruition. Then 2021 happened. He failed to qualify for the 2021 playoffs, and he would score another trio of top 5s.
Oh, sorry, the emotions from, God, I feel like it's the same story. A lot of times, just heartbreak.
Before being announced that he would be replaced in the 21 in 2022 by Harrison Burton, who was moving up from the Xfinity Series, and gave a less than ideal interview the following day.
But you know what? I didn't really sleep well last night, and I thought about it and woke up this morning, and you know, it's okay to have human emotion, and I'm not going to lie to you, it's okay to be pissed off, angry, and bitter, and all the above. It just is what it is. We're humans. We're not perfect. That doesn't change my faith in knowing there's a plan for all this and all, but you know, it doesn't make it not suck, because it does suck. This 21 team's also been broken for a while, and you try to give the benefit of the doubt and work through it, put all your effort into it, try and make it, you know, work and make it click. And it wasn't. And I've said it for a long time. Our team wasn't clicking. That's no disrespect to anyone, no particular person. It just wasn't working.
Yeah, so later on in this interview, he goes to elaborate a little further on basically how some of the leadership got switched around. He got a new crew chief and all that. And then things started clicking for him. But then he was basically fired right after things started clicking for him. And look, you can say no disrespect all you want, and in some regard, he probably is right. I mean, if you just look at the raw statistics, the last time the Wood Brothers was a playoff caliber team was with Matt DiBenedetto. But guys, pretend you're a team owner looking for your hot new driver. Given how much he is critiquing Wood Brothers here, would you as a team owner trust that he's not just going to do the same thing to your team? He's critiquing being in a very privileged position that millions upon millions of others would die for. He's not critiquing the Family Dollar down the street that fired him. He's critiquing Wood Brothers Racing, the team he just drove for in NASCAR. This is just one of those times where you need to humble yourself just a little, and he couldn't do it here. And that's the end of Matt's Cup Series career. He went and got a Truck Series win for Rackley Ware at Talladega, ran a couple seasons for that team, was immediately released from his Rackley Ware ride as soon as he was eliminated from the championship hunt in 2023, then went to Viking Motorsports where he, as Parker Retzlaff has proven, underperformed. DNQ'd at Darlington driving for Joey Gase in early 2026, and now he's not been heard from ever since. I want to end the video here. I really don't want to talk about that. But I digress. We have to talk about the elephant in the room.
Go Brandon. Matt DiBenedetto said, let's go Brandon. Why?
Gotta fight for God, country, and freedom, that's why.
Yes!
This is why I've been hesitant to make this video. But it's also the moment that Matt DiBenedetto's years of clawing away slowly to become competitive came crashing down, and it was the death rattle of his competitive career. Now, I recognize that a portion of people watching this video may not have full context, so let me lay out what happened and why this was so controversial. And just like everything on the internet, it all has to do with American political tensions. Hooray!
Oh my God! Wow! Just wow!
This is based on the loops.
This is a dream come true.
This is Brandon Brown.
Thank you, Dad, so much. We did it, Dad. We did it. We did it. We won.
On October 2nd, 2021, he won his first and only career what was then called NASCAR Xfinity Series race at Talladega, driving for his family-owned race team, Brandon Built Motorsports. It was certainly one of the most feel-good moments in modern NASCAR history. But for some reason, NASCAR has insisted on these awkward front stretch interviews, almost as if they're subliminally trying to replace the classic Victory Lane interview tradition. Woohoo! So I'll quiz you guys. What's eventually going to happen when you conduct a nationally televised interview within shouting range of hundreds of intoxicated NASCAR fans in rural Alabama during the fever pitch of American political tensions?
Oh my God, thank you so much, Larry's Lemonade. Thank you so much, Trade the Chain. Thank you so much, Jabs Construction. Thank you, Mid-Atlantic. Thank you to all of our partners. Oh my God, it's just such an unbelievable moment.
Brandon, you also told me, as you can hear the chants from the crowd, let's go, Brandon. Brandon, you...
Yeah, this is the actual source of that phrase, if you didn't know. Fun fact, the reporter, who I think did a very good job of deflecting a nationally televised interview having a swear being chanted in it, was later on fired for this. Brandon later on made multiple statements on this and couldn't really seem to decide whether or not he wanted to embrace it or distance himself from it. And, you know, trying to self-fund a race team costs a lot of money, so I also kind of saw it as directly proportional to how much money he was getting out of it. But that's not the point. Brandon Brown was never meant to be famous, so you can't really blame him from trying to appease the millions of people from all sides of the political spectrum who now had eyes on him from what should have been his feel-good moment, because that's what matters. Not the political tensions. He probably didn't give two shits about that. And it wound up costing him his career. Ellie Productions actually did a great video going further in depth on this, and you should go check it out. Anyways, 1 month later, on November 5th, NASCAR then President Steve Phelps denounced the political slogan. The very next day, this was Matt DiBenedetto's response to being told he can't do something.
Go Brandon.
Just a disclaimer here, I thought I had to put the kitty gloves on and send this through beta readers just to verify that this video is not going to piss anyone off. God knows I already learned my lesson about being overtly political in a strictly NASCAR video. But let's be real, guys. If you've gotten this far into a NASCAR video whose voiceover is represented by a very obvious furry avatar, I think everyone here is mature enough to open a discussion about this, okay?
Nothing compared to being forced to sit down and answer some tricky questions in our segment, 10 Laps Win.
If you could edge anybody out at the finish line to win a race, who would you want it to be?
This was a segment on Fox called 10 Laps, hosted pre-race in the mid-2000s, where Chris Myers asked pointed questions about the driver in order for you to get to know the driver better as a fan. The questions were simple things that the NASCAR fans would want to know, you know? Hunting or fishing, favorite pizza topping, music genre preference, Democrat or Republican. Wait, really?
Republican or Democrat?
I'm a Republican.
Guys, society was different back then. Social media didn't exist. We could have political differences and not be at each other's throats or worry about death threats or public shaming or defamation for not agreeing. We didn't have to worry about losing our jobs for what we said on a public forum. We weren't being spied on through our TVs and smartphones at all hours of the day. Our digital activities weren't being sold to data brokers for targeted advertising. We weren't living inside of an episode of Black Mirror. You could coexist in the world with others while having differing viewpoints and perspectives on things. You could have a completely different moral and ethical foundation than someone else and still be able to divert the conversation into dinner or golf or the weather or literally anything else. But since, again, the introduction of social media into society, I feel like this comes up in a lot of my videos, where everyone's deep inner thoughts are not family dinner table appropriate, are broadcast publicly, inside voice doesn't stay inside anymore, it's no surprise media companies have strayed away from inviting controversial topics even in the most casual and mundane of presentations in recent day. This is why NASCAR drivers are sent through rigorous media training on what to and not to say and how to and how not to behave on a public forum. This is why every driver feels cookie cutter, because in the era of social media, being controversial leads to public ridicule, and public ridicule against a business leads to bad PR, which results in lowered stock value and lost revenue. And it's no secret that large, valuable companies have a lot of say in NASCAR and its teams therein. Therefore, NASCAR in the 2020s, as it continues to bleed viewers and sponsors, is not exactly in a position to take large financial risks. So this is to say that companies do not like controversy, and therefore 2020's NASCAR and politics go together like peanut butter and cyanide. Now, I'm not an idiot. I know NASCAR has historically conservative roots, and they have been leaning more into them for a marketing push recently. I respect it, it's fine. But when I'm watching a race with people, not Democrats, not Republicans, not independents, not libertarians, not progressives, but people, there's no need for these loaded discussions. We're simply enjoying fast car, go vroom, likely with some sort of intoxicating beverage. It doesn't exactly require moral and ethical quandaries. But I'm sorry, even if saying I'm a Republican or I'm a Democrat was defensible in today's day and age on a public forum, hell, in my opinion it should be, there's no marketable way to say fuck the standing president of the United States while wearing your sponsor's logos, while standing in front of your team's car, while on a national public forum. This wouldn't have flown in 2004 either, which the 10 laps video was from. He still would have been out of a job, he still wouldn't be marketable. And before anyone comes at me, I'm all about being fair. Let's reverse the role. Let's say instead of Biden being president in 2021, it was Donald Trump instead. And he says, I don't know, FDT instead of Let's Go Brandon. The words are different. The target is different. Maybe the people who criticize him and the people who praise him would flip based on their personal politics and how strongly they feel about those. But the result would be the same. He'd still have been fired. He'd still have news media writing grift pieces, milking political tensions for a paycheck. He still would be an unlikable little shit. Because it doesn't matter how you spin it or romanticize it, saying fuck the President of the United States is not unifying language, it's divisive language.
I'm getting a whole bunch of texts. I deleted my Twitter, or deactivated it, or whatever. Yes, that space, unfortunately, is just too far gone. It stinks. It's filled with so much hate and negativity and everyone attacking everyone for everything, and it's like the whole feed. I'm pretty sure my wife Tay had a great point. Pretty sure at this point somebody could post that the sky's blue today, and the feed would be filled with, wow, did you not consider the sky's feelings? What if the sky wants to identify as green today? Did you not consider that? Wow, Matt, you are the worst human being on the planet.
Dude, just drive the fucking car. That's all you have to do. It's not someone having an opinion. It's someone looking for an argument. It's not someone looking for an answer for career woes. It's someone looking to play victim when it all comes crashing down. And it did. Now that we look back, that e-begging strategy he had was pretty telling of who he was as a character. Matt DiBenedetto was not one to go and seek sponsors the old-fashioned way like people like Chase Briscoe, but he certainly would take to social media to air his opinions when it all came crashing down. In this country, freedom of speech is a right. He has a right to say it, though when you say something that a large amount of people don't like, you should expect social and professional repercussions. Not everybody is going to agree with you. Just ask Cody Dennison or Mike Wallace if you want evidence of publicly saying controversial things can kill your career. But I digress. Let's compare and contrast Kyle Larson, who also suffered the same repercussions. Why didn't Matt DiBenedetto get another chance while Kyle Larson did? Well, the difference between Matt DiBenedetto and Kyle Larson, where Kyle arguably said the worst thing, was that Kyle Larson was a legitimate top prospect who had proven himself in the top series as a winner, as a title contender. And when he apologized, he genuinely seemed like he meant it. It didn't feel like it was crafted by a PR team. And at the time, he was only, I think, 28, whereas Matt DiBenedetto, at his best equipment, was a consistent maybe 11th to 18th place guy. His apology was simply him doubling down on the whole thing and blaming cancel culture. And he was already in his 30s when his controversy happened. Maybe it was only like a couple of years removed from Kyle Larson, but still, those 2 years say a lot in terms of maturity. When you hit the big 3-0, maturity's kind of expected. Matt DiBenedetto's ceiling was Roush-era Jamie McMurray, and his floor was Scott Riggs. And I'm not going to take any arguments against this. Matt's PR risk was not worth the reward of having a serviceable driver who could keep the car clean, especially when you're trying to market yourself to top-tier teams and promote yourself as a legitimate winner and title contender. If you had the choice between Kyle Larson and Matt DiBenedetto to drive your car, which would it be? If you say Matt DiBenedetto, you're lying. And despite my obvious criticism of Matt DiBenedetto's professional antics, I truly do wish he had gotten at least one cup win, you know? It always feels like when a driver retires with a second place as their best, it feels incomplete, you know? So I do want to give Matt DiBenedetto his flowers and say that he probably did deserve to win a race. He clearly had what it took to succeed in NASCAR, but poor luck and ultimately poor choices doomed his chances. Had Gibbs stuck it out with him into the early 2010s, I could have seen his career trajectory going a very different direction. But the butterfly effect in NASCAR is quite insane, the lore goes really deep, and as it stands, Matt DiBenedetto is only a cautionary tale. Anyways, I originally was writing this as a good runs, but decided to go short essay route with it instead. Cool people on screen, also cool credits on screen. Hope y'all enjoyed it. Check out Patreon if you also want to be a cool person on the screen, and subscribe if you're new and you want to see more NASCAR and occasionally furry stuff, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye.